today. My name is Julia and I'm a physical therapy student at Temple, but some of you might remember me as a former counselor at Camp Schreiber. For today's mindfulness tip of the day, I'm going to be sharing with you guys all about our sensory systems. We have 6 different senses, and I wrote them all down on this piece of paper so that you guys can follow along. We have our sense of touch, taste, sight, smell, hearing, and movement. We use our hands and our skin to touch, our mouth to taste, our eyes to see, our nose to smell, our ears to hear, and our whole body to move around. Our sensory systems are how our body tells our mind what's going on in the world around us. For example, if our ears hear barking, then our mind knows that there must be a dog close by. Sometimes the sensory input that we're getting from the world can be super overwhelming and can make us feel anxious and upset. But other times, sensory input can be really calming and relaxing and can help us feel less anxious and less overwhelmed. So for today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys how you can create your very own sensory bag or sensory box that's full of lots of sensory objects that make you feel better and that make you feel relaxed and calm when you're feeling a little bit anxious. But before we get started, I have to share with you guys the secret code for today's video, which is FOX, F-O-X. So be sure to pause the video, go write it down, and then come back when you're done. Okay, you're back. So this is my sensory bag, and in here I have lots of different things that I like to use to help me feel better. We're going to start with our sense of touch. For me, I have this really warm, really fuzzy, big Special Olympics sweatshirt. And I love this sweatshirt because it's nice and warm and furry and fuzzy, and it feels really big and heavy on my skin. Whenever I'm feeling upset or overwhelmed, I like to kind of wrap myself in something warm and fuzzy and heavy that just makes me feel nice and hugged and calm and relaxed. You guys can use a blanket or a big pillow or maybe your favorite stuffed animals. I love using all of my stuffed animals as well. But anything that just feels nice and calm on your skin is a great way to feel a little bit less anxious. Next, we have our sense of taste. Now for me, something that I really like is always keeping a mint in my bag. I love the taste of mint, and sometimes this minty, fresh taste can make you feel a little bit more awake and a little bit less overwhelmed and anxious. So keeping a mint or keeping maybe a little piece of candy or gum if you're able to chew gum, just anything, a tiny little piece of something that you can pop in your mouth to kind of get your mouth going, especially when you're feeling a little bit upset, can really help. Okay, next we have our sense of sight. Now I love looking at pictures, especially pictures of me with friends and family, because it can help me feel less lonely, especially when I'm feeling a little bit upset or overwhelmed. So in here I have this picture of me and my friends when we were traveling, but you can put in pictures of you with your pets or with your friends or family members or at Special Olympics events, really anything that you like to look at that can make you maybe bring you back to good memories, and this can help you feel a little bit calmed down and a little bit less overwhelmed. But I also want to talk about with sight that sometimes bright lights can be super overwhelming. I know for me, I don't like being outside when it's super sunny and the sun is beating in my eyes because it makes me feel a little bit anxious. So I always keep these sunglasses in my sensory bag. This is what they look like. They're pretty cool. And these are great for when it's super sunny and I just kind of need to shade my eyes. You can also use sunglasses indoors if bright lights inside make you feel uncomfortable. They can really help you feel a little bit less anxious. Okay, next we have our sense of smell. Now, I love candles. This is my absolute favorite candle. You can see that it's pretty much empty because I use it every single night. And I love the way that this candle smells. And I light it every night before I go to bed because it makes me feel super relaxed and super calmed down. You don't have to use a candle. You can use anything that smells really good to you. I do want to say that if you are going to use a candle, make sure you talk to an adult first and always have the adult light it for you. But If you don't want to use a candle, you can use really anything that smells good to you. Smells are a great way to make our bodies feel relaxed and calm down, especially really soft smells. Sometimes smells can be a little bit overwhelming, so try and find a smell that you know just makes you feel happy and maybe it reminds you of something or just smells really good to you. Okay, next we have our sense of hearing. Now for hearing, I have two things in here. First, I have my headphones because I love listening to music. Music is a great way to feel relaxed and calm down and happy, especially like soft classical music. That's a great way to decompress and feel a little bit less anxious. You can listen to whatever music you want to listen to, but typically soft classical music is a really nice stress reliever. I also want to talk about how sometimes loud noises can be really overwhelming, and I know some people are really sensitive to loud noises like fireworks or just heavy, maybe machines working outside or construction. So sometimes loud noises can just make you really upset, and that's totally okay if you're like that. Just keep some headphones. I've got these, or not headphones, earplugs. I've got these earplugs in my bag, and you can just pop them in your ears and they can kind of dim out what's going on around you. And they're a great way to bring you back to your sense of peace and feel a lot less stressed and anxious. Okay, finally we have our sense of movement. Now, I don't actually have anything in my bag for movement because all you need is your body. Just get up and move around. Moving is a great way to relieve stress and relieve anxiety. You don't need to do anything crazy. You can get up and jump up and down 5 times, maybe spin in a couple circles, maybe run in place for 30 seconds. This is a great way to just kind of de-stress and decompress. If you want to do a longer workout, there are a lot of videos up on the Total Body Challenge that you can go back and watch. But if you just need 30 seconds, just run in place or do 10 jumping jacks and then sit back down and you'll feel a lot better. So that's everything in my sensory bag. You guys can put in whatever works for you. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And just because it works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for one of your friends. So find what is good for you. Find things that you know stimulate your senses and make you feel good. And this is a great tool to have, especially when you're starting to feel anxious. So that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.